Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of a tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make um, this kind of shape. It can be used for a lot of different things, whether it's, the base or a stand for a particular, you know, um, table or really anything. And this is, as we're reaching the end of the beginner tutorial series, just kind of going through some of the most important features that you might want to know as you're starting to learn CAD and become familiar with the tool set. And this, of course, uses one of the most important features, which is loft. So we've done, extrude, we've done a little bit of revolve, we've done some sweep, and this one with the loft is definitely going to be a definite step up in the number of things you can do. As you can see, you can really make complex shapes with a loft. And the way it works is really simple. So essentially, you just have two separate cross sections, probably of different sizes and shapes. So in this case, I have a cross section of this unique flower petal kind of shape right here, and a circle, a very simple shape on the other side. But you can do anything you want. It could be a circle and a rectangle. And, you can really get creative with what you're doing here. So without any further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. So let's go ahead and close this. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create your first cross-section sketch, which is going to be the complex shape, and we are going to do that in the XY plane. And basically, the first thing I do is I like to create my guide geometry here, and sometimes it's helpful to make guide geometry as you go. So, but this is one of those cases where this is kind of a very helpful feature to have already set up. So as you see, I just made a circle centered at the origin and toggled it to construction. I'm just going to go ahead and dimension it. Make it 30 millimeters is kind of small. We'll make it a foot. 300 millimeters and 30 centimeters. So that should be pretty wide enough for a base of, a monitor or something. And the next thing we're going to do is create some arcs for our petals. So I like to use 3-point arcs, and it's really simple. You just select a point on the circle, select the point elsewhere, and we're just going to start creating some constraints here so I know what we're dealing with. And the final thing is we're going to do some more reference geometry. So that needs to be horizontal, and then so one thing about Fusion 360 is that it doesn't generate midpoints for you, to my knowledge. Maybe if you press Control or something, there's something. No. Yeah, so it doesn't generate midpoints for you automatically. So if you want to set a constraint with a midpoint, then you have to, create a separate reference line to create that point so that there's an endpoint there. But that is that. And we can go ahead and make this coincident with here. can dimension this. I believe I set it to something like 50. And you can dimension each of these, so we can go with 60. The final thing we're going to do is we're going to make this. Oh, that's already set. So then the only thing we need to do is dimension this height. Interesting. Maybe if I do this one. Yeah, there we go. We'll make it 200. That looks pretty good. Alright, the last thing we're going to do is create a center point arc so that we can connect our petals together. So that's that, and that's fairly simple. Then we can go ahead and circular pattern this. I know I haven't done the circular pattern feature before, but we've already covered rectangular pattern, and this is very simple, so I'm just going to quickly go over it. You just select the objects you want to pattern by clicking on them, and then select your center point. This is why we created a circle here. Of course, our origin is it's already there as a point, so technically we wouldn't need to do this, but if we were creating this as a part of, a larger part, then the origin might not necessarily be present. So this is always a very helpful tool, and it's good practice. So we can go ahead and select that, and then we can just select the number of petals we want. So we can shoot for 9. Honestly, 10 might be perfect. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we can go ahead and select OK. And the last thing is we want to close our profile, so we want these to be coincident. As you can see, the inside region is highlighted in blue, so we know our profile is complete, and we can go ahead and finish our sketch. Alright. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to create some reference geometry. We want to create a plane that is offset from this base plane. So what we can go ahead and do is we can select offset plane in our construct menu. We can select our XY plane, and then it's very simple. We just select the distance we want to offset it. A foot sounds pretty good, so we can go ahead and do that. And then we have our offset plane, and we can create a sketch on it. So earlier I was running into a weird issue where a random point was coming into here, and even though that's not the case right now, and we can just select the origin to make it concentric, you can always just not do that and use your sketch geometry in your first sketch to define your second sketch. Then all you have to do is dimension the circle, and let's go with something a little bit smaller, so we can go with, or actually we can go with something bigger this time. And this way it'll have a different, unique design. But you could make it smaller if you wanted to, and I think what I went with in the original image was 200, but I think this would be kind of fun. So we're just going to try this. So we can go ahead and finish our sketch. And the last thing we can do is we can select our loft, select our profiles. Make sure your first profile is the whole thing. One thing that'll happen is when you do define, if you have two sketches and sketch 2 is defined through sketch 1, then whatever geometry you use to define sketch 2 will appear in the sketch. So you just want to make sure that you select the whole profile. And it's profile 1, and then profile 2 is in a separate plane. Now we can go ahead and select OK. Alright, and that is all it takes to loft. You can make all kinds of shapes with this. This kind of looks like the bottom of a Reese's peanut butter cup, so you can make that kind of shape with this, and it's a lot of fun to play around with. It's very useful if you're making stamps, or maybe you're trying to make a tool, maybe a proprietary screw or something. It's all very useful. So that is it for today. And I don't know, I guess thanks for watching. It was kind of a short one today, so yeah, if you have any requests for, you know, something you might want to learn to make, then you can go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see if I can make a tutorial for it. That aside, this kind of absolute beginner series is probably coming to a close. I covered a few more intermediate techniques here. We did the circular pattern, we did the offset plane, and of course we did our loft feature. Now, many of the features that we're using today have extra settings that you can play around with, such as these guides, rails, and all of these. So if you'd like, you can play with them on your own. If not, you can stick around and I'll probably make a video on how to use them eventually. In any case, I've rambled enough for the end of a video. I guess I should just say thank you for watching. It's been a real pleasure, and I'll see you next time with another tutorial. Bug.